Well, hello everybody. How you doing? It's your boy Jedi Granville. Welcome back to Jedi Granville Productions. And I gotta say, I'm feeling pretty digested because, as you can see, this is a another segment I call movie reviews, and I'm going to talk about the latest movie that I went to go see that recently came out. And all I can tell you is this: that high expectations, you never really know what you're going to get. If you have low expectations, hey, it goes and flows, just deal with it. But I just came back from seeing the latest MCU film, Spider-Man Brand New Day. And all I can say to you is this: how do you top, or better yet, how do you outperform a film that recently came out? When I say recently came out, this movie came out 5 years ago, No Way Home. How do you outdo it? Or how you up the ante? And I'm thinking like there's no way it's going to be done. Ye of little faith, never doubt the power of a good story. And I'm going to just say, what they did in No Way Home, they definitely put a lit more in here in Brand New Day. And I'm just like, man, so much to be, so much to really say that it was done, you know? And I can't believe now, looking back, because thinking about the films and shows in between No Way Home and Brand New Day, it's kind of like some were promising, the rest were, I don't know what they were doing, you know. I mean, you had a few, like say Deadpool and Wolverine. It's like, hey, did pretty good. The rest, I don't know what the hell, man. I'm just like Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantum Mania. Oh, ugh, ugh, ugh. Just that. But anyway, what do I have to say about Brand New Day? Well, I got to give it to Tom Holland. He really brought his A game in terms of bringing his acting talent into this. I mean, yes, you do get your crime fighting comic book escapades going on, but the great thing about this is you get more than just that, all the action. You actually get a story about a character building situation, and it's such a treat knowing that you see these things in here when something massive like this comes up, and you get so much of a dominant story where it's like, okay, you get the action, but where's the action leading to? You know, and I'm gonna tell you something, man. It was just like, man, it was bonkers knowing that you go into this movie blind and you wonder, like, how's it gonna go? I will say that when I went to go see see it in the theater, I got to see this with a coworker of mine. Yeah, all right, and it's the first time I've ever sat in a theater with a coworker. Actually, two coworkers. I should say this: two coworkers that work in the same biz as I do, watching this movie, and I was like, so much fun to have that because naturally, when I go to a movie, I'm by myself, it's no big deal. But it's so refreshing sometimes when you have company be with you and you indulge in the same activities together. And one of them, he's a real big Marvel fan. He's a like I say, he's a real big comic book fan. So it's like that really helped out a lot, in terms of when we was watching it, and kind of saying, what could be the big bad or whatever, It's like it's such a great thing seeing that, and I love how that comes into play. Kind, I'm not going to give out some kind of revelation because there's not going to be spoilers for this. It's not going to happen. That's not happening. Sorry to tell you. If you want to know what's going on, you got to go see it for yourself. But the big bad was not what I was expecting. And honestly, the people who are cameoed in this was not what I expected. Now, true enough, that the Hulk is in here. That's no big thing. I mean, it's in the advertising. But who you find out is actually the one that's doing some things, it's like, oh my Lord. And that makes sense that person would be in here. But I digress. This is a film that's taking place, and I should mention that this film was directed by the same guy who directed Shang-Chi, in the Leaders of Ten Rings. He directed this, and I mean, I love Shang-Chi. He did a really good job with this one too. I mean, I think the reason why he did this because there's martial arts involved in here, and naturally, it's like I think and maybe that's why I'm not really sure. But anyway, he did a well organized job doing this film, and I found out this film almost went as far as going to almost 3 hours long. But it's like he decided to make sure it's cut down because we don't need to be having it that long. And I digress. I have to say that's a good thing. It's like don't make things so long when it doesn't necessarily need to be. If you're telling a good story, tell the story where it's necessary and move on. So anyway, the film takes place literally 5 years after the events of No Way Home. And Peter is basically, like I say, he's Spider-Man, but he's struggling with the fact that he can't tell. Well, when I say can't tell, he wants to tell the people that he left behind who he is, but it's so hard for him, because of the danger that goes with that. And like anything for a superhero, it's like they have to struggle with certain things. And yeah, Peter is struggling with some things, but I'm not going to mention what it is because you probably already know what it is anyway. But what he struggles with is far more, taxing, but in the end, it's probably more something that's actually, what can I say? It's more where it's like it's going to be something that's going to help him in the end. It's just a struggling trying to control it. So it's like I say, I can't really describe how I'm feeling because the film is so, like I said, dude. It's so joyful when you get a film that you see and when it hits all the marks, you don't know how to respond or how to express it. And for me, I can't really express it as well here with this as I've done with other films. Because some of them feel like I mentioned when I recently did a review of Masters of the Universe, and oh wow, dude! I literally couldn't talk about that one. That one stank to high heaven. And I shouldn't even say it stuck to high heaven. It's just it started out well, but then it's like now you're running into the ground. No, this film here, they kept it consistent in doing the story, telling the story. And when the outcome comes in the end, it's like, okay, there we go with that. Okay. Like I say, The story takes place 5 years after. We do see some little motifs of where how Peter gets from where he is, and we do a few flashbacks to when Homecoming and the other three films came into play, and how Peter becomes really Spider-Man to begin with in terms of his maturity, because now he's in his 20s, you know. So all these things come into play, and like I say, there's a new bad in here, but it's a bad that you're not thinking who it could be. And trust me when I say it's a bad, but it's one where it really, if you watch it, you'll, like I say, okay, and then it's like it leads into something else. That's what I'll say. Now, there are some cameos in here, but I'm not going to name who they are because I feel like you'll find out when you see them. And I'm not. I mean, like I said, you already know Bruce Banner is in here. That's automatic. As far as, like I say, the rest of the gang, they're in here, but they're doing a good job. But they're doing such a wonderful job in consistency and storytelling. And I love this. So I don't know. I mean, it's like I say, it's a lot to take in. It's a lot to be discussed, and a lot to really. And is there a post credit scene in this film? Yes, it is. It's not one you think it is, but I feel it's leading into Doomsday. In fact, I know it's leading into Doomsday because when you watch it, when you see what it is, it's like, oh, really? That's where, okay. So when you see the film, it's like, alrighty, this is going to get tight. But anyway, the point of the matter is, this film is definitely worth watching. Is it better than the No Way Home? Well, in a way, I guess it is just slightly better. I'll put it like that, slightly better. Hell, both of them have. I don't know if I can say slightly. I mean, I think they're both in the condensing because they're both telling a good story, and it's very character driven, and it's not overwashed with a lot of BS. It's like it's staying consistent in what it's telling in terms of story wise. So it varies. No way, but like I say, in moments where I'm watching it, you still get that thrill of what happens when people watch things and you think like, oh, the certain trope's going to happen. What, and I'll say this: there was a trope that happened in here, and I'm like, it totally got me. I was like, no effing way that I let this trope get me, because usually you don't think about tropes happening that way in terms of when it happens. When it happened, I was like, no effing way, man. Did this just happen? So it's like, it's crazy, It's just like, damn. But it shows right there how powerful good storytelling really does work. And I love knowing that this film still has, this kind of film right here still has some kind of, I don't want to say the word, but yeah, magic that really holds up in creating something that audiences can watch without having to be say, oh, I already know what's going to happen. I know what's going to do. It's like, it's there, and I'm glad for what it is, because it does a great job in the storytelling that it does. And it's like, wow, I just, like I said, I can't express it enough. I mean, like I say, there's no way to really express it, because it's that good, And like I said, I left the theater totally digested. When you leave a film that's good, and it's really good, and if you feel like really whole after that, that is a good film. And Brand New Day is definitely that. a well-made film. And I gotta say, there's some moments in here where you get into the feels with certain moments. I gotta say, but honestly, like I said again, you would have to see it, and you will definitely feel something when you watch it. I'll just say that. But yes, my recommendation for Brand New Day. This might be a brand new step in the Marvel Universe, hopefully, because the past 5 years have been someone hits and misses. But then again, truth be told, I kind of blame the whole outcome during the COVID thing, and I think COVID had a lot to do with that. Maybe you shouldn't say that on there, but I feel that has something to do with it. But other than that, this film is total popcorn, total, storytelling, character driven, character arc moments, and I love it for what it is. And all I'll say to anybody who goes to watch this, just expect a good time, but also know that there's some things that have to come up that have to take place. So that's about all I'll say. And now, as far as ratings for this film, maybe it's too early to say it. I'm gonna give it a 9. I'm definitely gonna give it a 9. Yes, 9 it shall be, and 9 it will be, because it is. It's that good. Now, is it better than? In fact, I'm gonna say it right now. It's better than the Odyssey. I will say that it will. I mean, as much as Odyssey has some good points and everything, this movie tops it. It really does. So, with that being said, as far as anything is content wise coming on mine, I don't have anything coming up this coming month because I'm going to be void on my channel for a while. I'm going to be on some other people. Like tomorrow, I'll be with Sci-Fi Century, and we're going to be talking about All Monsters Attack, the latchkey story of a little boy, who has no real friends, but talking about Godzilla. And then Saturday, I'll be hooking up with DJ Anubis, and we're going to be talking about a film that I never even heard of called The Boondock Saints. I'm just like, okay. So might be something different, but other than that, that's pretty much it for me. And I have nothing else to tell you. And I just say, go watch the film, because you might I ain't going to say might, you will enjoy it. So that's pretty much it. And like I say, anything you expecting me on my channel anytime soon, don't, because it's not coming. It won't come until later, the end of that month, or the beginning of next month of September. So that's pretty much it. But as I always do in closing, and as I always do this all the time, I just want to put this out real quick before I do my sign off. Just know that even though I might not be the most rapid content creator as much as I used to do, that does not mean that I don't have ideas floating around in my hemisphere that bring you something that you might enjoy. It's just like life intervenes, and life will intervene, and life will always be what it is. So, but with that being said, as I always close out, y'all take care. Y'all please be patient, and always keep the film legacy alive. Peace out now.